Now Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special, live from Ridgeview Charter Middle School, with Channel 2 anchors Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer.
Good evening. We are very pleased that you are with us this evening here tonight to have a conversation about an important issue, bullying. It has affected so many people, the lives of many families around the country and right here in Georgia.
And tonight, teenagers who have been bullied will share their emotional stories. We're also going to hear from some young people who will explain why they bullied others. And you will see what schools like Ridgeview, Charter, and others in Metro Atlanta are doing to prevent bullying.
Now, recently, we've heard a lot about this in the news. Shocking incidents of bullying have dominated headlines, and it has become a higher profile problem.
A 12-year-old girl climbed a tower at a cement plant in Central Florida and jumped to her death. Police say Rebecca Sedgwick was terrorized by as many as 15 girls who bullied her for months using online message boards and texts.
I'm going to do everything in my power to pass Rebecca's law.
Rebecca's mother's now backing a bill to make bullying illegal in Florida.
Jonathan Martin came in here and worked hard every single day.
Bullying has not been limited to kids. An investigation ordered by the National Football League found Miami Dolphins offensive lineman Richie Incognito and other players bullied teammate Jonathan Martin. According to the report, Martin was subjected to a pattern of harassment that included racial slurs and vicious sexual taunts about his mother and sister. Martin left the team, and the Dolphins suspended Incognito for the season's final 8 games. The incident has left many questioning the locker room culture in the NFL.
I can tell our fans, I can tell you sitting here, I can tell our players, we're going to do things about it. We're going to make it better. All right? We're going to look at every avenue. We're going to look at uncover every stone, and we're going to have a better workplace.
And within the last year, here in Metro Atlanta, we've reported several heartbreaking stories about students who say they were bullied.
I fell because they were kicking me really hard, and then I got back up and they continued to kick me. They called us, you ugly, you stupid, you gay. And I was in the gazebo sitting there crying and crying because I have no friends to play with, and that'll protect me.
So tonight, we're going to do something. We're going to try to answer many of the questions that you have sent us about bullying.
We have 2 experts here joining us tonight. They are Dr. Patty Agatson. She is a cyberbully expert, and Noah Pines. He is a former prosecutor with the DeKalb County District Attorney's Office. We look forward to getting their insights coming up later.
Panel of experts will also be answering your questions that come through to us through social media. We really want to hear your thoughts about the topic of bullying, how it's affecting you and your families. You can weigh in with those questions and comments on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/WSB-TV, or tweet us using the hashtag #BeingBullied. We'll be going through your questions and comments throughout the evening.
I'm Condace Presley from 95.5 FM and AM 750 News Talk WSB. Right now, this program is being simulcast on WSB Radio, and we also want to hear from you. Call us with your questions about bullying right now at 404-872-0750. Now back to Justin and Jovita.
Condace, thank you for that. According to government studies, most bullying occurs in schools, particularly in middle schools.
And joining us now to share her own bullying incident is Madison Kenner. Madison is here with us with her parents tonight, Nakia Shaw and Robert Kenner. Now, Madison is an 8th grader at Landmark Christian School. And when she's not working hard on her school assignments, Madison likes to sing and write poetry. There's some video of her there in action. Madison, I understand that it was some of your friends who were bullying you. What happened to you in school?
Well, it was a really personal experience that I wasn't expecting coming from my friends, and it just really hurt me, and it encouraged me to write a song about it because that's how I, share my emotions and get it out. Taunts, words, things that they were saying to you? Yeah, they were saying some really hurtful things that I just wasn't expecting to come from them, and it really scarred me.
They were friends? Yeah. Yeah, you didn't expect that at all. Nakia, tell us, when did you find out, how did you find out that your daughter was being bullied at school?
I picked her up after a football game, and when she got into the car, she burst into tears. And I asked her what was wrong, and she explained briefly, but she was crying so terribly that she really couldn't explain at that moment the details. So as a mother, of course, that was really disheartening to me.
Of course, you send your child to school, you expect her to be safe every day, and of course get along with her friends who are there with her all the time. Madison recorded a song about the bullying. It's called Crazy, Crazy. We want to play some of it for you now.
Every time I close my eyes, how you waking, what's what's inside. Deep desire, passion for more. I'm not done, reach the end. Confusion rises from within. Is it something I should see? Free me. Crazy, crazy, I am bleeding.
So that's a little bit of Madison's talent there, how she turned that into a positive at least. But Robert, talk about the lyrics because they're pretty strong. You hear your daughter talking about rejection. She even talks about suicide in her song.
Yes, it was very alarming to me as a father because after the experience, she wouldn't tell me what took place. I mean, she was very reluctant. And I finally got it out of her, and so once I got it out of her, she said she was okay. She went home and she said, you know, she was going to write something about it, so she started writing a song. She let me hear it the next day, and when I heard the words, I was very concerned because the words spoke of suicide, can't go on, things of that nature. And so I asked her, I said, Madison, are you okay? And she said, yes, Dad, I'm fine. I said, no, I want to make sure you're okay because what I'm hearing is very, very disturbing. Right. And so she told me that she was okay, and from there, I called one of my friends who's a producer and I wanted him to hear the song. I tried to sing it, but he said, no, I don't want you to sing it, let Madison sing it. And so Madison got on the phone and she sang the song, and so he said, wow, we need to do something about this because if it's affecting her, it's probably affecting other kids as well.
That song is on YouTube now, is that correct?
Yes.
And Madison, has the bullying stopped? Are things better now with your friends at school?
Things are, and I actually spoke to them about it. I was like, hey, you know, I wrote a song about what happened. And they were like, wow, I didn't know it hurt you that much. And I was like, yeah, it did. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And they just really stopped then. They were just like, wow.
So everyone learned from the experience, and they realized how hurtful it had been.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I want to thank Madison and her parents for joining us. They're going to be here with us throughout this hour. Justin?
So impressive to meet her. Thank you, Javita. And with us now is Sonia West, a parent, and she's got some questions tonight. A question about bullying for Dr. Patty Agason.
Hi. Yes, when do actions move from being rude or mean to bullying, and how do I measure that?
What we talk about is that there can be rude behavior when somebody says something insensitive, but they weren't being intentionally mean. So they just didn't realize how their comment came across. I always talk about my youngest son one time went into a locker room and pointed out someone and said something embarrassing, but he didn't know better when he said it. He didn't know how it would be taken. Now, a mean comment can happen one time. Someone's having a bad day, they're upset, they're angry. So they may say something mad like, you know, you bumped my stuff, you idiot. But it's not something that they would do over time, and it was more in the moment. It's not repeated. With bullying, it usually is repeated, and it's intentionally mean behavior, and it is designed to hurt someone's feelings. But we also don't want to let people off the hook when they say, well, I was just kidding. If they knew, you know, that it could be hurtful, then they're moving into the realm of bullying.
Dr. Atkinson, if you have a hunch as a parent that perhaps your child is being bullied, what advice do you have about how to engage your child and get that conversation started? Because some children, as we just heard, are so reluctant to talk to a parent.
Yeah, if you have some idea that your child is experiencing bullying, then, you know, to try to approach them, say, I'm concerned about the changes that I'm seeing, what's going on at school. And if they do come forth and let you know that they are being bullied, you want to thank them for telling you and let them know that takes courage to tell. You know, a lot of kids are reluctant to tell adults because they're afraid we're going to overreact or blame them or ignore it. So take it seriously, but check your emotions. Don't get caught up in your own anger or upset feelings. Be a support to that child and let them know you're going to partner with them and partner with the school, and we're going to come up with a plan to address it and so that they can feel safe again.
Get that dialogue started. Dr. Atkinson, thank you for that. And Dr. Atkinson and our experts are going to be with us throughout the evening, providing more valuable information to parents.
Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special, continues. This teenager underwent plastic surgery. It's a controversial trend to stop bullying.
After a couple years after I found out about the surgery, I was like, maybe this is something that I should do because this is getting pretty bad.
The whole point is
young men who bullied others explain why they did it and what made them stop it.
I I'm Linda Stouffer. Post your comments or questions about bullying on our Facebook page, facebook.com/WSB-TV, or tweet us. We really want to know what's bothering you. Use the hashtag #BeingBullied. We'll go through your comments and questions throughout the evening.
And I'm Candace Presley from 95.5 FM and AM 750 News Talk WSB. We really do want to hear from you. Call us now at 404-872-0750.
Being Bullied is a family-to-family special brought to you by Scana Energy, Kroger, Southwest Airlines, Northside Hospital, and American Signature Furniture. Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special, live from Ridgeview Charter Middle School, continues now with Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer.
I'm glad you're back with us this evening as we take an in-depth look at bullying. What's causing it, and are there some solutions? Our next story involves a controversial trend in dealing with bullying.
Some teenagers who have been bullied have changed their looks through plastic surgery. We talked to a Georgia teenager who did just that. She and her mother explain how they made the decision to undergo cosmetic surgery. School days, making friends, learning new subjects, discovering talents, and growing. That's what school is like for most kids.
Thank you and have a wonderful day.
It didn't start that way for Nadia Isle.
Since the first grade, that's when it started. They called me elephant ears, and I'm thinking, well, I don't really think I have that big ears, but after I looked in the mirror and I saw that, I started seeing that. That's like the only thing I saw. I saw nothing else except for my ears.
Nadia says the bullying got worse in middle school.
I can tell that they're talking about me, or if someone's like whispering to their friend, I have this anxiety thinking that they're talking about me. And it got to the point where I'm like failing my classes and getting bad grades.
She wouldn't elaborate on what was going on because she was afraid to. So, and I had other stuff going on myself with Joshua. He was sick, you know, used to be sick and in the hospital a lot. So we didn't, I didn't know how bad it had become.
Her self-esteem shattered, Isle's thoughts turned to suicide.
That was actually when I was in middle school. I mean, I just thought like it got to the point where it was terrible, where I could care less about anything else. I just thought about my family and thinking like they would be sad if I was gone, and suicide isn't the answer to anything at all.
She eventually told her mother. The Isles said transferring to another school was not an option, and they thought telling school officials would just create more problems. So she did some research.
I saw something on TV about the people having surgery, like to get the ears pinned back and stuff like that. So I mentioned that to my mom.
And then she was asking me every day, can you call a plastic surgeon? Can you call somebody about pinning my ears back? Can you know, she was looking at stuff that glued your ears back and some of the other options to do.
I mean, at first I wasn't sure about it because, I mean, it's surgery and I didn't know about it, like not much about it. But after a couple years, after I found out about the surgery, I was like, maybe this is something that I should do because this is getting pretty bad.
During this time, her mother and father lost their jobs. Medical bills were mounting for Isle's brother Joshua, who has cerebral palsy.
At that point, I decided to look up on the internet who did free surgery, and so that's when I contacted the Little Baby Face Foundation.
The New York-based organization provides free surgeries to needy children around the world with facial deformities. In 2012, the foundation agreed to operate on Isle after doctors diagnosed her with a condition that caused her ears to stick out. She also suffered from a deviated septum, so her nose was repaired, and she got a chin implant to balance her face.
I look beautiful. I feel completely good about it myself. Like, if anyone said anything about my ears now, I'd be like, whatever.
While there are no exact numbers, Isle is not the only bullied victim to undergo plastic surgery. Critics say changing a child's appearance is too extreme and sends the wrong message.
There you go. Ultimately, it was our decision. Everybody handles their bullying situation differently. And my opinion is that if we were offered something to help her, why wouldn't we take it? Take that road and do something to help her so she doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
So in addition to the surgery, Nadia has also been undergoing counseling to deal with the years of emotional torment. And as for school, she tells us that she is on the honor roll and she's planning to go to college. Justin?
Wonderful, Javita, thank you. And now, whether you agree with that kind of family solution to bullying, we're all concerned about what bullying might do to a child's self-esteem. So we're bringing in Dr. Atkinson again. Dr. Atkinson, what can be done if you know that your child has gone through such a tortuous experience? What can a parent do, what can a family do to try to help that child's self-esteem?
Yeah, I think it's so important for the child to have a sense of their own gifts and talents. And so working as a parent to help them identify them. All of our kids have those gifts and abilities. They may need outside support to help develop that strong sense of identity. And then also to, some kids are able to learn to celebrate their differences, that all of us have those unique things that make us special. But certainly make sure that they get that outside support, and don't be afraid to ask for counseling and assistance if your child is really suffering through some traumatic experience with the bullying.
Which is a wonderful, brave step for a family. Thank you, Dr. Harrison. Now we have 6th grader Jacob Cohn with us. Jacob, you have a question.
Why is cyberbullying on the rise?
Why is cyberbullying on the rise?
I think, you guys probably know, a lot of the kids in the room, that you enjoy hanging out with your friends a lot online, right? So sometimes adults say kids are addicted to technology, but what I really think is that kids are addicted to hanging out with their friends, and digital life allows that. But as kids are socializing more online, the bullying that might have happened face-to-face now happens online. So that's why we're seeing an increase in the bullying that occurs digitally.
Jacob, thank you for your question. It's a serious grown-up tool, being online, isn't it? You got to be careful. Thanks, buddy. Dr. Atkinson, we appreciate that. Javita?
Thank you, Justin. So right now, this program is being simulcast on our sister radio station, 95.5 FM and 750 AM News Talk. Candace Presley from WSB Radio joins us now with some questions from listeners. Candace?
Yeah, excuse me. Yes, Jovita. Our first question is from Alexander, and it is for you, Dr. Atkinson.
Being bullied by girls and boys, she attempted to hurt herself, and now as a grandparent, what do I do?
Well, if I heard that correctly, the grandchild has attempted to hurt herself, and so we want to make sure that, first of all, she needs professional help. She needs assistance. We want to make sure that child is safe and some sort of counseling and support. But then we also, again, want to partner with the school. I don't know if it's occurring just at school. A lot of bullying occurs both, at school, in the community, or online. So we want to make sure that we are clear what's happening and that the school is aware of it, and then we can take steps to address it. And the good news is that, when we marshal those resources, a lot of times we can address the bullying, and it does get better. And we want to make sure that your granddaughter knows that has a strong sense of hope, and that knows that there's help out there and things do get better.
Thank you, Doctor. Linda Stouffer is monitoring comments on social media. Linda.
Candace, thank you, and it's good to hear that comment that things will get better, because a lot of the posts that we're getting right now are about very painful personal situations. I want to share one of the posts that we have from Facebook. This is from Jamal Passmore, who writes, "I was bullied all throughout grade school. The worst was when I came out during my senior year of high school. People tormented me and degraded me." We're also hearing from parents who are really in the trenches dealing with bullying and their own children. This is a post that we got on Facebook as well from Amy Rainwater Ramsey, who writes, "My son is 17. He was born with a cleft lip and palate. He's been bullied since age 6 and now has no self-esteem. He's been hospitalized 3 times for suicide. You just hate to read and hear something like that. Our next tweet that I want to read you is actually a question I want to throw to Dr. Patty Atkinson in just a moment, but here it is. Elaine De Simone writes, what constitutes bullying versus teasing? When should a child speak up? And you talked about this a little bit earlier, but I thought this was interesting how she asked about teasing, because so many kids have that sarcastic sense of humor, that sort of, you know, biting on the edges. When is it teasing? When is it bullying?
Yeah, okay. So teasing usually happens among friends, and it usually is a playful way of that goes back and forth, that we may, you know, give each other the business a little bit. And usually both parties are involved in it. If it continues and the person asks you to stop, and you continue, now you're moving into the realm of bullying. So that's an important thing to recognize. With bullying, it's usually more one-sided as well, and so it's not a back and forth relationship. And the person who's being targeted usually has a hard time defending himself or herself in a bullying situation.
Interesting to think about it that way. We really want to hear your questions and your comments. Weigh in on our Facebook page, WSB-TV. You'll find that on Facebook. Also, tweet us using the hashtag #BeingBullied. We're going to keep going through your questions and comments throughout the evening.
When Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special, continues. These young men admit they bullied others, why they're now speaking out against bullying.
No parent wants to do this. This is something that we didn't want to do.
The action this Atlanta father is taking after he says his son was attacked by bullies at school. Now, back to Being Bullied with Channel 2's Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer.
Around the country, many parents whose kids were bullied in school are now turning to the courts, and they filed lawsuits against their school districts.
Well, we talked to an Atlanta father who is suing the Atlanta public school system. He claims his son was attacked by bullies. And in a rare move, Atlanta Public Schools talked to us exclusively about the lawsuit.
95% of his sinus is crushed and caved in. Nose broken in 3 places. Deviated septum.
Jeff Del Bagno describes his son's injuries. He says it happened during an attack by students at Inman Middle School in 2012.
Physically, not good, thank God, he's doing okay. Mentally, he's tender. He's very tender.
Del Bagno says before the incident, he warned school officials about bullying problems, and now he's suing the Atlanta school system. He claims they mishandled the investigation into the beating of his son.
No parent wants to do this. This is something that we didn't want to do, that we never envisioned in our wildest dreams that we would have to do.
For the first time, an attorney for the Atlanta Public Schools is commenting on the Del Bagno's lawsuit.
The school system has a comprehensive policy with procedures in place to address allegations of bullying. Those policies and procedures are enforced uniformly and consistently throughout the school system. They were in this case.
Trigg told us APS supports the findings of an investigation into the incident conducted by the Atlanta Police Department.
APD determined that Jeffrey instigated the fight. It was a one-on-one fight. It was not the result of bullying.
The Del Bagnos claim that they have witnesses who say their son was attacked.
How can you not pursue accountability? We're left with no choice but to turn to the courts.
And Del Bagno's son is now being homeschooled.
And this story certainly raises questions about the role of schools and the legal liabilities they face in dealing with bullying. With us now is Noah Pines. He's a former DeKalb County prosecutor. And Noah, tell us, what is the school's legal responsibility when bullying happens?
Well, in 2010, the legislature changed the laws to require, 1, that bullying be defined, 2, that the boards of education, the local boards of education, have policies to prevent bullying, to investigate bullying matters, to notify parents when their child has either been a, quote, bully or a victim of bullying. The law also now requires the Department of Education to submit policies to investigate the matters, to report that teachers have to report incidents to principals. So the law has changed to give some sort of teeth to fighting bullying.
And what legal rights do parents have?
Well, parents can do 2 things. 1, they can try to go after, obviously, the offender, the bully, the parents of the bully, either through the juvenile justice system or a civil suit against them. But in the Del Bagno case, it appears that they're going directly after the Atlanta public school system.
All right, tall order.
It's hard because there are immunity issues, but it's obviously something that they feel confident with.
Noah Pines, thank you.
Thank you.
Ahead on Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special.
My name is Tyler, and I'm Scott.
These teenagers bullied others, the powerful incident that made them stop, and what they're doing now to end bullying around the country.
Any more ideas?
And we'll take you inside Georgia schools, the lessons for students to prevent bullying.
I'm Linda Stouffer. I'm going through what is now a flood of comments and posts on our Facebook page. Weigh in. We want to hear what you have to say. Facebook.com/WSB-TV, or send us a tweet, #BeingBullied.
I'm Candace Presley from 95.5 FM and AM 750 News Talk WSB. We want to hear from you. Call us with your questions about bullying at 404-872-0750.
Tonight, victims of bullying are speaking out about the pain and harassment, looking for solutions. One Georgia teen had plastic surgery, hoping to put an end to the torment.
I feel completely good about it myself. Like, if anyone said anything about my ears now, I'd be like, whatever.
And a father, frustrated with the school system after his son was badly beaten, takes his fight to the courts.
This may or may not be in court for years, but we want to pursue accountability.
Now, the conversation continues. Being Bullied, live from Ridgeview Charter Middle School, with Channel 2's Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer.
This evening, we are focusing on many issues regarding bullying, and now to really understand why it happens, we want to hear from the other side.
This is special. With us tonight, two young men who have a powerful story to share about bullying. While they were in high school, Tyler Gregory and Scott Hanna produced an anti-bullying video, and it's gotten national attention. Tyler and Scott have traveled around the country sharing their personal story of being bullied and how they even bullied some others. And they're with us tonight. Gentlemen, thank you for coming down to Georgia and being a part of our special tonight. Now, Tyler, you were bullied by Scott's group of friends. Is that right?
Yeah, it was kind of on social media. Scott had a group of friends from another school, and he had his group of friends from his school, and one night on social media it just kind of blew up, and we were calling them names, they were calling us names, and it was just a disaster.
Did you do something to stop it?
It was a lot of back and forth between my friends. I didn't really know what to do, so I considered myself a bystander, and I feel like when we speak at schools, so many students can relate to that because so many people know what it's like to be a bystander.
Tyler, what was the light bulb moment for you when you thought, you know what, this is wrong and I need to become proactive?
Yeah, we were at a school fundraiser event, and one of my friends got on the phone with one of the girls from his group of friends, and she told her to kill herself, and that's when it kind of hit me, that could actually happen. And that's when I realized, what I said could have definitely contributed to that. So that's when I kind of realized that I needed to, back out and kind of try to fix things.
Well, the mission they're on is admirable, to say the least. These two guys are going around the country speaking as part of the Great American No Bull Challenge. So tell us the goal of this program.
It's a video contest for teenagers ages 13 to 18, and creating videos is so unique because teenagers are connected to social media 24/7 and YouTube and Facebook, and creating a video could impact people from all walks of the earth. And we've had people contact us from other countries saying that they've seen our video and it helped them out. And so making a video is just such an amazing idea, and they have until April 30th this year to compete in the No Bull Challenge, and it's amazing.
And you don't have to be a professional, you just submit it to nobullchallenge.org and you could win a trip to LA and celebrate at the No Bull Teen Video Awards.
In the website to find you guys, we're going to tell people how to get there. Gentlemen, thank you. Now, earlier this evening, Scott and Tyler spent some time with the students here at Ridgeview Charter Middle. In just a few minutes, you're going to hear what Ridgeview does to prevent bullying. But now, Jovita's in the audience with some questions that some of the kids have to Tyler and Scott. Jovita?
That's right. I'm standing here with Gabriel. He has a question for Scott and Tyler.
So, the girl that you were bullying, did you apologize to her? And if and when you apologized to her, what did she say?
Yeah, when my friend had told her to kill herself, that is when I apologized, because I realized that, what I had done was wrong and I needed to try to do something to fix it. And, I apologized through text message, and then a couple months later I apologized in person.
Jacob.
Okay, Leslie now has a question for Scott and Tyler.
How did you tell your parents what you did?
My mom actually found out because she has a Facebook, and she saw the feud happen, and she pulled me aside and she said, you have to stop this. She said, it's not making you look good, and she said, what you're saying is very hurtful. She's like, I didn't raise that kind of son. So she encouraged me to delete the post and stop it.
And I just went to my mom and I just talked to her. I just needed advice from her because I didn't know what to do, and she really did help me a lot.
And now we have a question from Jack for you guys.
How did you decide to confess what you did?
Well, we were going around the country doing school assemblies, and we share our stories. I had been bullied to the point where I attempted suicide. That was a really powerful story that connected with victims, and Scott has his bystander story, and we really just wanted to come 100% clean and say, we weren't the nicest people at one point in time, and to connect to the bullies too. So we feel that our assembly program, connects to victims, bystanders, and bullies.
And it inspires bullies and bystanders to stand up and make a change, and it's never too late to change.
Yeah. Guys, we really applaud your bravery, what you're doing, and getting out there and spreading the message, as we thank Tyler Gregory and Scott Hanna for joining us in Atlanta tonight. To get more information about the Great American No Bull Challenge, this is important. Go to WSB-TV.com. Right there on the website, we've got a link for you. Now, Linda Stouffer joining us with a look at what students here at Ridgeview and others are doing to stop bullying at their schools. Linda?
And Justin, it's by Georgia law now that all Georgia schools have to have anti-bullying programs in place. So let me tell you some good news about what's happening here at Ridgeview Charter Middle School. Students are actively involved in the planning here to let bullies know that it's just not going to be tolerated.
If you have a bullying club and you're being bullied, you can go there and speak out on it.
They exchange ideas.
If you're being bullied online or on social media, then they don't know who it is, but you still have to do something about it.
They take notes. They create a plan.
We could see if we could get some people who have been bullying or have seen bullying to talk about it.
So, any more ideas on what a call to action would sound like?
The student government at Ridgeview Charter Middle School is on a mission. They're developing the next anti-bullying project, and teachers are not part of this process.
We like working together because we all get along and we have good ideas. And it's not just one person, it's all of us trying to make a difference.
It definitely feels really relaxed when you're just talking with other students.
When the students make choice and when the students are running the meetings, when they're leading the way, they take ownership of it. And they tend to do a lot more and they take a lot further than we would as adults.
Students told us this project has also taught them valuable personal lessons.
That's helped me a lot. I used to be shy. I used to not talk to anybody. So this year, I stepped up and try to be my own self. Try to be me.
I was never really involved with anything at school, and I kind of just all my friends were like, "Hey, get involved with something, be a part of the school." And I was kind of shy, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go for it."
And we also talk about the cyberbullying.
In Cobb County at Dickerson Middle School, students and teachers work together to prevent bullying. It's called the DMS Challenge, and during these sessions, classroom seats are arranged in a circle to create an environment of openness.
It shows you the meaning of bullying and how to stop it, how to deal with it if you are being bullied. It just helps.
I like just being able to talk to people about their experiences and my experiences and learn what to do in case it does happen.
Dickerson Middle School students are taught to take action. Don't be a bystander when they see bullying at their school.
It kind of just, you can get the victim out of it, or make a big scene to distract them, to make the bully look away from the victim, and you can just get them away.
They'll pick on somebody, I'll be like, dude, chill out, or just back off.
The DMS Challenge began 3 years ago, and Dickerson's principal says they've seen encouraging results.
We have seen statistical significant reduction in our office referrals for those type of behaviors. Also on our student survey, the students say that they can identify the type of bullying has decreased. They can identify, they also feel very comfortable reporting bullying incidences.
And isn't it great to hear that kind of progress? Now, 2012 was the first year that Georgia actually collected information about incidents of bullying, and more than 7 1,000 bullying incidents were reported in Georgia schools. I've been going through so many comments and questions on social media. I want to share something that came in through Twitter, and this is a question for our legal expert, Noah Pines. Mr. Pines, here you go for this. When bullying happens under anonymous names, like on Ask FM, which is one of many websites similar to that, what can be done? And I think, Mr. Pines, what so many people are asking is why don't they have some accountability or responsibility when the bullying happens that way?
Well, unless those websites are posting something illegal or that they're prohibited from doing, then they have no liability or no responsibility. A lot of these websites like Ask FM are actually hosted outside of the U.S. and may not be complying with U.S. law. If your child is on a site where somebody is doing something anonymous, get them off the site. I mean, that's the most important thing, is to get them protected. Keep them away from places that don't have protections in there. Keep them away from friending people that they don't know. That's the responsibility the parents have to take.
And I bet a lot of parents heard you say that just now. I want to share a few more tweets that we've been getting, just really personal situations that people are concerned about. Cassie writes this to us on Twitter. My daughter is going to middle school soon, and I'm terrified. I hope if it happens, she tells me. She's hoping she can have communication with her daughter. Also, James Gibson writes this. My sister was bullied at school because of the type of shoes that she wore. It could start with something just as simple as that. We invite you to add your comments, your questions too. We're going to keep going through this on Facebook.com/WSB-TV. Also, contact us on Twitter using the hashtag #BeingBullied. We'll continue to go through the comments and questions.
Still ahead on Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special. The big change coming to all Georgia schools to prevent bullying. And why this Georgia legislator says the state's anti-bullying laws are not tough enough. Being Bullied continues now, live from Ridgeview Charter Middle School with Channel 2's Jovito Moore and Justin Farmer.
And welcome back. There is growing evidence that a school's environment can have a big impact on discipline problems, including bullying. Environment's also been shown to affect student performance and the overall culture of a school.
This fall here in Georgia schools, we'll get what's called a school climate rating. And joining us now to explain it all is Dr. Gary McGibney. He's from the Georgia Department of Education. Dr. McGibney, tell us what factors are involved in determining a school's climate.
Thank you. It's very important, as you mentioned earlier, that we look at school climate. Bullying is a symptom, and unless we do take a broader look at what's going on to cause the bullying and to allow the bullying to take place, then I'm afraid we will not resolve that issue. So Georgia is one of the first states in the nation to develop a school climate rating in all the schools, and it's based on a combination of metrics. There's a student health survey, a parent survey, school staff survey. We're looking at discipline data and student attendance data, and we put all those metrics together. In every school in Georgia, all 2,273 schools in Georgia will have a school climate rating of 1 to 5, 1 being problematic and 5 indicating that they have a good school climate that's conducive for students to feel safe at school. And a growing body of research shows that school climate is tied directly to student achievement, and also improving school climate is tied directly to preventing bullying.
When will we get those ratings? Where can a parent find out their school's rating?
Those ratings will be public in December of this school year, and they'll be published on the website at the Georgia Department of Education for anyone to look at.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary McGibney from the Georgia Department of Education. We thank you for joining us. And there is more information about these new school climate ratings on our website. That's WSB-TV.com.
Now, more questions about bullying as we go to Candace Presley from News Talk WSB Radio. Candace.
And Justin, we have a number of questions from some of our listeners and viewers, and I think this one from Marie for you, Noah, is probably going to break all of our hearts.
My 10-year-old son last year was found on the 3rd story of my roof, had written a suicide note and was going to jump. Thankfully, my daughter found him. But what are my legal ramifications to the school system or to the individual parents who bullied my child, who almost committed suicide?
Well, if the, if it can be proven that your child was bullied by a specific person, obviously you can try to go after that other child for potentially committing a violation of the law or civilly. And again, as we hear from the other case, there are ways to go after a school system if the child was bullied at school. That's a big thing. The Georgia bullying laws talked about bullying that occurs at school, not outside of school. and the school did nothing to prevent it.
And now we have a question from Jean. Jean asks,
for those who seem to not understand how much trouble it causes, is there some kind of punishment where we can do some kind of public humiliation punishment to send a message out to all that may think that this is fun to do?
Dr. Agustin.
Yeah, I think the problem with the public shaming, even though I know sometimes that's, you know, when we feel so hurt by these events, we want to do something, you know, that's kind of revengeful. At the same time, a public shaming is almost engaging in bullying behavior as well. And so we have to look for other solutions that can help resolve it. I think one of the areas that we're starting to look at more is that, you know, how do we make amends? How do we make sure that the person who engaged in that bullying behavior repairs the harm that was done? So rather than shaming them, let them have some steps they have to take to make it better for the person and for the community and for the school.
Dr. Agustin, thank you very much. We'll be back right after this.
When Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special continues. This Georgia lawmakers plan to stop bullying in schools. Being Bullied, a Channel 2 special, continues now from Ridgeview Charter Middle School with Jovita Moore and Justin Farmer.
A law about bullying in Georgia schools has been in place since 2010.
One state lawmaker wants that changed. A bill proposed by State Representative Keisha Waits would have required more details be reported about bullying incidents. The legislation did not pass this session, but for Representative Waits, that battle is not over. She is here now with us tonight. So what specific information would you like included in the Georgia bullying law?
Couple of things. I'd like to see enumerated categories, specifically addressing the age, the race, the incident, specifically if the child was disabled and so forth. I think that this will help us better target our sensitivity and prevention training to address bullying specifically. Current legislation addresses bullying after it happens. I'm interested in legislation that will address bullying before it happens.
And you're motivated because you were a victim of bullying.
Yes, this is true. I did not realize until I became an adult that that was bullying. But I had a neighbor, a childhood neighbor, that was a little bit bigger and stronger. I was a timid, very shy child. And, you know, every day, my sister and I would basically run home from school from being harassed by my neighbor. My mother was somewhat proactive, but again, you know, working every day, it's not really a whole lot you can do. One of the things that I can remember so clearly, and I'll never forget this, now 20 years later, I played the violin. Again, I was a nerdy type kid. And I can remember my neighbor and I won't mention the name, but I can remember that particular day where, you know, she took my violin and broke it. And those are just things that you never forget, and those things stay with you. And for that reason, I got involved in athletics and sports and grew my confidence and self-esteem. But the reality is HB 429 seeks to do one thing, and that is to change the culture. We're living in an environment right now where it's okay, boys will be boys and kids will be kids. But as you can see throughout the incidences in the news coverage, that this is a very serious problem. And it is my hope that other legislators will join me in addressing this issue.
All right. Thank you so much, Representative Keisha Waits, for being here with us tonight. Linda, back to you.
We're getting just overwhelmed with comments and questions on social media. This first Facebook post I want to share goes right in line with what you were just talking about. This poster is saying, in essence, wake up. Kids are cruel. This is serious stuff. It can destroy a child. We need to find a solution and quit just seeing it as part of growing up. We'll be back with more.
Being Bullied is a family-to-family special brought to you by Scana Energy, Kroger, Southwest Airlines, Northside Hospital, and American Signature Furniture.
Tonight, we've given you plenty of important information about the resources available to understand bullying, how to get help, and the various programs that have been set up to prevent bullying.
And we have put together a special webpage where you can access all this kind of information. So here's the deal. Go to WSB-TV.com. Click on the Community tab, then scroll down to Being Bullied. And there, you'll find the links to all the anti-bullying websites mentioned here this evening and this program, Being Bullied.
We want to thank Ridgeview Charter Middle School's principal, Lisa Hasty, along with the staff and the students and the parents for allowing us to be here with you tonight.
Great hosts. We also want to thank our panel of experts and News Talk WSB radio partner Condace Presley and our colleague Linda Stouffer. I'm Justin Farmer, and along with Jovita Moore, we thank you very much for being with us this evening. Hope you have a great Sunday.